To do that, Spiegel's doubling down on consumer hardware and going head-to-head with giants like Google, Meta, and Apple in the race to bring augmented reality to the masses.
I think for us, it's really about this transition from a screen-based way of interacting with computers to interacting with computers in the real world through augmented reality. That this is going to be one of the biggest and most profound shifts in computing.
These are trillion-dollar companies, though, and Snap is a multi-billion-dollar company.
A baby company.
A baby company.
So he's on a quest and having some fun along the way.
I don't know where these arrows are going, but... Oh, there we go. So we're looking at the future, literally, right now. Is that what we're doing?
Feels like it.
You grew up in Southern California. What kind of kid were you? Were you one of the cool kids, or were you one of the nerds trying to be cool?
You know, I think my wife always says it's cool to be uncool. So I definitely was not one of the cool kids. You know, I grew up and my parents didn't let me watch TV at all.
Oh, really?
So I was very into reading.
It's okay to be a nerd. I was totally a nerd. I think we turned out okay. I saw that you were really interested in graphic design early on. How did that sort of shape your approach?
I think for me it was that intersection of being able to express myself through art, but to do it with a computer and to use these really, really powerful tools that made me feel like, you know, anything was possible. And then later on, that sort of prompted me to build my own computer and to pursue ultimately product design in college.
What was it that made you say, I need to drop out? Like, I need to do this?
I was standing in the back of this machining class, and at that time, we were signed the documents. We were waiting for our venture investors, Lightspeed, to fund, and I was refreshing the Wells Fargo app in the back of the class, saw the $485,000 hit, walked up to my teacher, Craig, and just said, you know what, I'm so sorry, I'm going to have to drop this class. But I went back and finished that class with Craig many years later.
When Snapchat debuted in 2011, social media looked a little different. MySpace was on its way out, Facebook and Twitter were huge, and Instagram had just launched. The startup economy was booming.
At the time, you know, it took like a minute to send a photo, which was just crazy. So we invented a way to send photos really, really quickly. People were starting to use it to talk, so we renamed it Snapchat. We added captions and drawing and all the fun creative tools people use.
Within a few years, Snapchat was rising in popularity.
That is rainbow vomit.
Stirring up its share of controversy and catching the attention of Silicon Valley.
I remember the first time I saw Snapchat in the wild. We were at an ice cream parlor, and there was this crowd of kids in front of us, and they all had their phones up, and I was like, oh, they're taking pictures of the ice cream? And my husband whispered, they're Snapchatting. And I was like, oh, this is becoming a thing. Like, it was really a moment.
Teens everywhere believe they're sending their own self-destructing messages online with an app called Snapchat.
Was there sort of an inflection point where you felt like things really took off?
Snapchat changed people's relationship with photos and made them about communicating. And it turns out people communicate way more than they save things. And so there was a moment in time when, you know, we realized that the number of photos people were taking and sending on Snapchat, eclipsed the total number of normal photos people were taking on the world, you know, out in the world with their smartphones. And I think that was really the moment that we realized there had been this huge shift, that like the majority use case or the primary use case for cameras was communicating, not saving things.
The rise of Snapchat also made Spiegel one of the youngest billionaires in the world by age 25.
How did you manage having so much responsibility and money and fame at such a young age?
What a great question. I felt really fortunate that I live in a place where my family is. So my family, my high school buddies, all my friends from school and from growing up are here in LA. My parents live, fortunately, they're still alive and live 10 minutes away. So I've got a really strong support network.
What was your first I made it purchase?
Oh my gosh, this is going to be so embarrassing. I was still living at my dad's house. My first purchase was a pre-owned Ferrari. I went to the Ferrari dealership and walked in. They must have looked at me like, what are you doing? I was like, oh, can I buy a car? And they're like, what? Yeah. So I came the next day, gave them the cashier's check, and I drove home. And my dad was very upset because, he's like, where are you going to park this thing? I mean, not in front of my house.
Instead of settling in the Bay Area like most tech startups, Snapchat's first official office, that wasn't in Spiegel's dad's house, was in this small but iconic spot.
Welcome to the Blue House. And just imagine there's a big ghost right out front, right there.
So tourists would come by, snap photos with the ghost, and
come up and knock on the door to get help with their account, too, and give feedback, which is always appreciated.
So why a ghost?
Well, in the beginning, the app was called Pickaboo, so it was Boo Like a Ghost, and I drew the little ghost in my dorm room.
You drew it?
Yeah, back in the day, it was holding a Polaroid, too, which was pretty cute, but we simplified it, got rid of the Polaroid, and now it's just the Snapchat ghost.
You loved Venice, but Venice didn't always love you. I mean, there was quite a bit of backlash. There were people holding signs. Venice is a community, not a corporate campus. How did you handle that?
It's definitely a lively environment, but we never anticipated that we would grow so quickly, and I think that did put some pressure on the community, and ultimately is part of the reason why we ended up moving to our campus in Santa Monica as the company sort of reached a different phase of growth. But those early days will always, be have a special place in my heart.
As luck would have it, the current occupants of the Blue House were happy to let us in for a tour to relive the memories.
Congrats on getting going.
Thanks, yeah. Hopefully we can have some similar success to you guys.
I have no doubt. This house is very lucky, I think.
Hi, thanks for letting us crash your peaceful Venice morning.
This is actually where we all sat when we decided to stay in Los Angeles, because that was a big debate at the time. Our investors were saying maybe move to the Bay Area and this kind of thing. We all sat here and kind of heard everyone's perspective, and everyone wanted to stay. I shared a desk here with one of our team members, Micah. We were playing footsie under the table sometimes.
Oh my goodness, look at that. I mean,
it's a pretty magical spot. Not bad for a first office.
Not bad for a first office.
Good morning. This is Bloomberg Daybreak Europe. I'm Lizzie Burden in London, and these are the stories that set your agenda.
Taking you from the U.S. market's close to the overnight session in Asia, we'll walk you through what you need to know to kickstart Europe's trading day. Live from our European headquarters, we bring you the day's top market-moving stories, unmatched expert analysis, and on-the-ground reporting from across the continent. Tune in to Daybreak Europe, only on Bloomberg Television. Context changes everything. Why do the biggest names in business choose Bloomberg Television?
That's a great question.
It's a very good question.
Interesting question. Good question. Great question. I so appreciate that question. You certainly ask interesting questions.
Bloomberg Television. Top experts, great questions.
Join me each week on Wall Street Week for stories of capitalism from business, markets, economics, tech, and climate. More than what you need to know, it's what you need.